Oh, hi. Last night, me and the boy had a blast seeing Sonic the Hedgehog, a part deux. I'm pretty much just gonna go over just random things that I'm really excited I got to see, or that might have been a little different or whatever. Just some random thoughts. Random thoughts by me. Anywho, spoilers. That's the thing. That's all I'm pretty much. I'm just gonna go over the things that I was like, okay, cool. Okay, not cool. Or okay, what's up? Gotta go fast. But spoilers. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Okay, like for real. Here we go. Um, I loved the beginning. I loved the way it started with the whole mushroom place. I didn't see that coming. It was like boom, here we are, mushroom place. He's been there for almost a year. He's making all kinds of gadgets. He's trying to find a good way to drink mushrooms. You're supposed to eat them, dude. Anyway, terrific, terrific. It was a blast. The introduction. I would like to know who are those guys that showed up, all dressed up in like the echidna or whatever, Knuckles people, because his tribe was gone, but these were like clearly humans. What's their deal? I don't know. Moving on. Okay, cool, no biggie. Jim Carrey was fantastic. I think he was in the first one. He does like certain things that it's like, what? Like sure, it's funny or silly or goofy, but it's usually more like a couple times more weird and just doesn't make like out of place. Doesn't make any sense. Like what do you like kind of the thing? And then they kind of did that once in this one to kind of let it taper off to not do if he did another one because that's the thing. Did he die at the end? No, of course not. He was gone, but we didn't have the end tag with him. Like in the first one, it was like, oh, now he's bald and has a big mustache. Look at this evolution. But this time it was like, oh, where'd he go? Ooh, I don't know. There's his assistant. Ooh. Uh, so that was interesting. Although I did like that they did reference when dude was creepily wanting to see what his love interest, I guess, would look like in other outfits like cowboy and whatnot, but they had the I don't know why he would make such a but whatever. I wonder if I fed him too many pastries. Um so like the big bellied Robotnik, what Jim Carrey would look like with that design, and I thought it looked terrific. I was like, great, go with that. So I thought maybe they were like, hey, you're gonna see that here at the end. We're gonna tease it, but they didn't. So that was interesting. Okay. Um, Overall, the thing I work at the theater, and they said they were like, "Hey, just so you know, we got to add 12 minutes to this movie last minute." And I'm like, "12 minutes? How are you going to add 12 minutes to a movie, especially a kids movie, nonetheless? Especially last minute? How would that even?" So after having seen the film, I'm like, "What 12 minutes could I have taken out that I would still have a movie where you wouldn't notice?" And that would have to be the wedding stuff. Like I get the plot of it, and it did intertwine, and it had to do with what was going on. But there was a good chunk, probably about 12 minutes, where there was no Sonic or Knuckles or Tails at all. And in the end, it was like, sure, she's helped deflecting and distract, get them out of there so they could all escape. I get it, and it was funny. She was funnier. I didn't really love her character in the first one, but in this one, it was hilarious. She's doing her thing. She blew up her own cake. Cool. But that was a weird subplot with it being the FBI thing with the thing. That was interesting. I do love that the military guy was referred to as Olive Garden guy. That was great. Anyway, I'm gonna get sidetracked. But things that I loved, like for me, were like end game cheer moments. Was when Sonic was gonna fall on the cliff, and then Tails grabbed him and he was carrying him and he was flying. I was like, yeah, all right, he's carrying him, he's flying him. Because me, I was a little brother, and that was my first. This was my first video game, by the way, was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I grew up on Sonic, and Sonic 2 was literally my first game. Got a Sega Genesis. Sonic 2 came with it. Oh, that was that. Uh, but personally, I'm the youngest of three brothers, so yeah, I was Tails all the time. That's why I like my Luigi. I like my Tails. So seeing Tails save Sonic numerous times was fantastic. And then at one point, seeing Knuckles climb up the cliff with his knuckles, terrific. Little robots making a staircase, terrific, just like out of the playing, playing the game. And they kept on referencing water. He's like, water this, water that. We're near water. We're above water. There's water nearby. Sonic doesn't want to deal with water, and I'm like, we gotta have an underwater sequence. Underwater levels from the get-go were a big deal in the games. And then they had an underwater sequence, and I was like, yes. Now you can't have an underwater sequence without the bubble. Give me the bubble. You gotta give me the bubble. And then they gave me the bubble. And they gave me the bubble. It was sweet. However, my only gripe, I mean, sure, I got my bubble. But you can't, you have an, okay, first of all, they should have tried to use the sound to have the whoop whoop. That's like my favorite sound out of all the games. Out of all Sonics, everything's Sonic. All the sound, everything's sound related. My favorite sound in Sonic is the bubble. Whoop whoop. And they could have, you may make it sound slightly more realistic if you want, but just while you woo woo, give me something. But no, nothing. I'm like, come on, man. And then you're literally going to have him on the verge of drowning. And how much would us nerds been on the edge of our freaking seats if while he's drowning, it's like ding 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 ding, and then instead of him dying, that's when Knuckles grabs his hand. How are you not using the music if he's underwater drowning? You can make it all realistic. Get some cellos. You can make it like a Jaws thing. Speed it up. Speed up. Hello? How do you not do that? How do you not do that? Minor gripe, but come on. So overall, it was exciting to see a lot of these things. Knuckles was funny in the end when referring to the base of ball, and I have conquered the second of the bases, stuff like that. It's great. It's good stuff. And why did what's her face at the end? At the end, when they're playing baseball, and they mention them, you got Donut Lord and and his wife. She's like, oh yeah, I like Sonic's new friends, especially the red one. He's funny. What was that? Was that it's supposed to be a joke referencing the fact that Knuckles is played by Idris Elba? And she's like, yeah, I like Idris Elba. If so, like, it did not land. And if not, then that was a weird thing for her to say randomly. That's all. Um, but the only issue overall, like, I got the robot, and the robot even did the walk. Robotnik's robot doing the walk. Oh, it was terrific. I wasn't expecting him to get these gem powers where he could teleport and stuff. That was great. And when Jim Carrey did the auto tune, mwah, that was wonderful. I had a great time. Loved everything about it. The only thing is it was just like Spider-Man No Way Home for me, where I was like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted, and yes, this is exactly what I thought this movie was gonna be. And then that was it. It was over. There was no more to it. There wasn't an extra surprise. I figured, yes, and then they team up, and then they fight Robotnik, and then they beat the robot, and then he turns supersonic. Yes, it was awesome to see him turn supersonic. My son was like, come on, come on, come on, as soon as he got the gems. But the fact that they had to bust them out of the thing in order for them to do the circle thing, that was pretty cool. Although, in retrospect, it's really just Sonic and he's yellow. But he can fly. But then he doesn't because he gives it up, he gives them up. And are they back in the gem now? Now that Knuckles repaired the gem, are they now back in there? I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But, and then I knew that the end credit scene was going to be a Shadow reveal. What else could it be? Especially when they're setting up Gun. And it was. There's Shadow. He looks great. That's cool. But they're like, oh, this secret research lab that's been abandoned for a while is still there. So I'm like, you've known about all this, but you're surprised that it's still there? And the Shadow Project. Shadow's just frozen in a mountain or something? And now he's awake? Did Robotnik? I bet Robotnik, because he was like, when he had the Master Emerald power, he was like all-knowing, and he made this face when he said all-knowing right before Tails distracted him. Like he just discovered something, and I think he discovered the existence of Shadow, and maybe he went there and activated the lab. Who knows? It's all very, very exciting, and I loved a lot about it. A couple of missed opportunities, but in the end, it's like, I didn't get something extra. I didn't get to see Jim Carrey's look evolve with a big belly or something. Yes, we saw the design. I'm happy for that. But there was no oomph tag with Robotnik of like, ooh, get you next time, Sonic, next time, But a fun movie, a blast. Son loved it. He loved it so much. He's already, the next day, he's asking to see it again. We're on our way to school, so. Yeah, loved it. Loved the references. Loved the surprises. It was just. I figured all of these things, all of the surprises were going to be the surprises that they were going to surprise us with. That's all. And they shoulda with the underwater. They shoulda. Come on now. It was right there. It was right there. And they were just like, nah, don't worry about it. Wouldn't want to distract them with the music we should be using right now. Whoop whoop. Maybe they had to go fast.